Hey everyone, we're here with Ben from Mother of Graves. If you don't know them, you're missing out. They're a fantastic band out of Indianapolis with a new album coming out. Ben, when does it get released?
It's coming out October 18th.
October 18th. You are who I confused the other day. I was talking with someone and I was like, your album comes out October 18th. And they're like, no, it comes out like September 20th
Oh,
or something. I was like,
yeah.
oh shit, sorry. So the album is called The Periapt of Absence.
Yes.
Um, how would you describe your sound?
Um, well, I think it's got a lot of that 90s, death, doom influence in it for sure. At least I think that's pretty much the consensus. And then I think that, because we have members in the band that also have that kind of a death metal influence in their pasts. We try to bring that out a little bit more into it as well. But then, we're all getting older and, so we're also softening a bit. So, we're trying to bring in the more melodic elements and maybe the softer bits too. So it's kind of, I think a lot of what, when we started, a lot of it was based on kind of that catatonia, Paradise Lost, My Dying Bride vibe. And then we've just kind of tried to branch out from there. I know that there's definitely some edge of sanity in there too. So that pretty much kind of sums us up, I think, in a nutshell.
I think that's pretty fair.
Yeah.
Uh, so I haven't listened to anything other than the upcoming album. Um, and I did that specifically just because I want to know well, like I told you before, right? You guys are super new to me. I'm really enjoying the sound. I love that you guys are from super close. So I'm like, oh yeah, chance to
Right.
like go up to Indy and fucking catch you on a show, you know. Um,
Absolutely. Absolutely.
what was the writing of the Periapt of Absence like?
Um, the writing of it went a lot like it has gone for the previous album and the EP, which is that um, each of us kind of brings ideas to the table, and it's kind of funny. A lot of times we'll just record some crappy audio recording on our phone and then like text it to each other, right? So then the audio degrades even worse. And like, hey, I got this idea for for a riff or for a sound or something, and we kind of share those around, and then a lot of that kind of I'm kind of the hub for that because I'm the one who's recording it. So I'll try to kind of make out what's being played, and then just kind of put it into my computer and start arranging the pieces together. And then we might all get together and try to actually hash some of it out, when we're together. And then we just keep refining that over and over. And so a lot of it is kind of building on themes. If we have, two riffs that seem to be kind of like the main riff, then we'll work on pieces to kind of, build around those. And then we'll just keep on trading clips or kind of showing each other kind of what we're thinking when we're practicing. And just we have the luxury of just being able to put it together these days, at my house, and demo it out, even with fake drums and all that until we can get Don involved in the song and that kind of thing. So that's we just put it together, and a lot of them come together that kind of way. Yeah,
Yeah, that's cool.
yeah,
Like the whole recording at home has come a long way from what it was back in shit the 80s and 90s
yeah, no doubt.
particularly.
Yep,
You know, You-
absolutely.
what do you guys use to demo it out?
Um, so I use Reaper as my DAW, um, because I mean, I don't really see it having any disadvantages really, other than obviously Pro Tools is what the pros are using, but Reaper can kind of do everything I need it to do, and we'll run guitars in, we'll throw some bass on there. I'll have some programmed drums that are just kind of a basic sketch of what kind of the feel of it or whatever.
Yeah.
And then we share all that. We just have this Google Drive that we're sharing all these like clips and these songs with each other, tossing ideas back and forth. And then eventually Don will get on it and he'll start figuring out how he really wants to play drums to it. And he's such a pro, like he's charting out everything. So when it comes time to record it, that's the element that we definitely get done professionally in the studio. Don goes in, he's got his charts, he's been practicing the songs for months, and he just lets it rip. But the demos are kind of just mini versions of the songs, and then we get to kind of put pieces together wherever we want. We take whole chunks out. We can slide things in wherever we want. It's so much better. I'm old enough that when I started doing this kind of thing, it was on a 4-track Tascam
Oh yeah.
using those freaking metal tapes or whatever.
You had to bounce the
And
tracks so you could
you
get
had to
more in there.
bounce, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And now it's like, use as many tracks as you want, cut
Yeah.
and paste, chop stuff up. It's almost too easy, but I mean, that's great for me because
Yeah.
I don't have the patience or the talent to do anything on 4-track tape anymore. Trust me.
No, I know. I was thinking about that the other day. I used to do the same thing, record on your little cassette, and you're like trying to bounce tracks, and you're like, I think I can get like 11 tracks here, like
Yeah.
somehow, some way. And then if you
Yep.
mess something up, you're like, oh shit, I gotta go back and
Oh,
redo it again.
right.
You know, God,
Exactly.
I don't miss those days at all.
No, no, I'm glad they're gone.
Yeah, me too. So when you guys went into the studio, how long did it take you to actually record this new album?
Yeah. So it took no, I'm sorry, 2 days in the studio on drums, and then months and months of tiny pieces being put together at my house. Chris and I would record guitars at my house, and then re-record and then re-record. And Corey would come over and lay bass down over the top of my crappy like demo bass licks, and Brandon come in and he would do maybe 2 songs a day on vocals. We'd do keyboards whenever we could get around to them, that kind of thing. So again, that luxury of the kind of home recording environment meant that, we were able to do it over the course of, several months. The only thing that was really, in the studio, truly, time constraint, important was Don getting the drums recorded. And again, I mean, he did such an awesome job. So, and the folks that we recorded with at Azimuth Studios here in Indianapolis, oh my gosh, they're so amazing. So
Right
yeah, I was
on,
super lucky to work with them.
right on.
Yeah.
So from the demo to the actual recording, did you see like a big change in any of the songs where it started out as like this and ended up like over here?
Occasionally, yeah, yeah. There's times when you realize that a riff isn't really going to work the way you thought it was, and so you make a major change from the way you had it demoed out. Um, and it's always with the hope that you're, trying to identify, fat you can cut from, a bloated track, or adding something interesting. If it's like, the song's fine, but what's that part I'm really looking forward to in this song? We need to add something in here. And again, we get the luxury of doing that. But they are set in stone. Once Don lays the drums, the format can't be changed. From
Right.
that point, you're just making tiny changes. Hey, let's just pull the guitars completely out of this section, or hey, let's put a piano in this section, and we can still do stuff like that. But pretty much that's it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. I always think I was always the guy that went back and listened to a lot of demos from the bigger bands, right? When we were
Yeah.
kids, you're like, I want like Jimi Hendrix is one that really, pops out.
Yeah.
Um, you listen to some of his demos and they ended up being either completely different songs or you hear a demo as one song name and then you hear it and you're like, oh, that's actually,
Oh, right.
you
Yeah.
know,
Yeah. It's pretty funny how they can transform on you like that. but it's also cool and kind of fun to go back and listen to the old one and be like, oh man, remember when we used to do that there? You know,
Yeah.
and hopefully it was crappier when we did it back then than it is now. So
Yeah. Maybe.
maybe. Yeah.
So, what does playing out look like for you guys over the next couple of months?
Well, we're kind of trying to focus on quality over quantity. We're the place we are in our lives right now is not one where we can usually take off for these long stints or anything. So, in November on the 15th, we'll have our album release show at the Black Circle here in Indianapolis,
Love that
which is
place.
great club, man.
Yeah.
We're so lucky to have that here in town. It's so good for the scene and everything. It's just, it's unbelievable. So that'll be the 15th. And then the following weekend, we'll be up in Chicago at Reggie's.
Okay.
And we'll be with Immortal Bird, who's a 20 buck spin. We'll be with them. They're doing their album releases as well. Uh, so it should be a really good time. Those 2 weekends should be a lot of fun.
Hell yeah.
We got some things planned in 2025 that I guess I'm not allowed to talk about yet. So, so,
No.
but what we're hoping for, big picture is to get out and just maybe do like a little East Coast run sometime like spring or summer. And then just do some regional Midwest stuff, long weekends, things like that.
Yeah,
So nothing huge, but we do want to get out a little bit, certainly, and have those kind of experiences and promote the album and things like that. So
for sure. We'd love to have you down here in Louisville.
hey, that would be great. Louisville, I mean, could be actually. I've been hearing rumors,
Yeah.
so
Oh, all
we might be
right.
able to still make that happen. Yeah,
I
we'll
like
see.
that.
Yeah,
I like the sound of
I hope
that.
so.
All right.
I'd
Yeah.
love to see you there in person. That'd be
Oh,
awesome.
for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm thinking, maybe November I make the trip up to Indianapolis if nothing else.
Hey, it's not that far. It's a good
No,
club.
no,
Worth
I
it.
know. I go up there. I can't say I go up there a lot, but I
Yeah.
go up there a few times a year to see shows. Um, last one I went to was Death in the Midwest, actually.
Okay. Yeah.
Power shut out. Like,
No.
yeah, it was. We got what was there? I think there was 8 or 9 bands on that bill,
Yeah.
and they got to like band 6, and they were probably 3 songs into the set, and the power like someone hit a telephone pole outside.
Oh, jeez.
It's like,
Oh, man.
no.
Worst nightmare, right? If you're running that. Jeez.
Yeah,
Oh,
like there was like so I don't know if you're familiar, but Redivider is a death metal band from Louisville.
okay.
They they were on that bill, and I've been trying to see them, and I'm like, I've listened to them. I fucking love them. I'm
Yeah.
finally gonna see them. I'm super excited, and they were up next, and the power goes out, and I'm like, you gotta be fucking kidding me.
You've got to be joking. Are you serious? Oh my
Yeah,
gosh. So you leave town to go see the band from town,
yeah,
and the power goes out before you get to see him.
yeah.
That's just you're cursed.
Uh, I mean, it was pretty fucking. I was like, I couldn't believe it. I'm
Yeah.
like, this is the one band. Well, there were 3 bands that night I wanted to see, and they were one of them.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, I can't believe I drove 2 hours because every time I try to see them in town, or every time I
Yeah.
had trying to see them in town, something came up,
Yeah.
like work or kids or whatever, and I'm like, ah, shit.
Gosh.
But I've seen them now, and
Oh, good.
they're
Okay.
they're
Okay.
so fantastic.
Excellent. I am not familiar, so I'll have to keep that one in mind,
Yeah.
especially since they're
Uh,
so close.
are you familiar with Volcandra?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. Those guys are doing something too.
Sick. Yes,
Uh,
definitely. Yeah.
Like
I
good.
mean, there's a lot of bands regionally that you can say that about right now. I feel
Yeah.
like, so it's a pretty awesome time. And
Abs.
and that's coming from somebody like myself who, I don't get out as much as I should or would like to, but yeah, it's very cool.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree. I think The music scene just as a whole right now is there is so much talent and so many good bands that
Yeah.
like you could almost just throw a rock and you find a good band to listen to, you
Right.
know?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So how long has the band been together?
Um, I want to say it was 2018 when we kind of really started putting things together. It started with Chris Morrison, the other guitar player. He kind of hit me up. We had been in a band together years ago, a death metal band called Harakiri, and he kind of said, "Hey, I've got an idea of this kind of just small project I'd love to start, just a little studio project." And he knew that at the time I was just starting to screw around a little bit with recording again. He's like, you want to kind of just help me out with it? Maybe just, write a little bit and just be for us, just be fun. So he comes over one weekend and we're just sitting at my house and we're just kind of playing around on some stuff and recording stuff. It's kind of nothing. We had, younger kids at the time. They're running around the house making noise and we're having a couple beers and we just throw a couple of little demos together just for ourselves. And then it just kind of grew from there. And we put a song on YouTube, just a little single or whatever. We had an old vocalist do vocals for it. His name is Matt Reese. And then Chris started talking to Brandon Howe, who's our vocalist now, who's also the drummer in Obscene. Um,
Love
and
that
and
band too.
yeah, yeah, awesome, yes. So Brandon was like, I can do vocals for you guys. That's cool. So then we had Brandon do some vocals, and then we kind of put some songs together that eventually would become the first 4-track EP. And I think we put another song on YouTube, and Chris has good connections, and somehow he got connected with Sean Fraser, who runs Wise Blood, and he kind of talked to us about, hey, would you want to put out an album out on this new label I'm starting, called Wise Blood Records, and like and that whole kind of like beginning, and I think it was about 2018, to go from there where it was just going to be a little project that Chris and I just dicked around with on the weekends, to like, are we going to put an album out now, like what's going on here, that was a pretty cool shift, and really good luck for us. I mean, our whole existence since we've been around has been honestly just about really good luck, being around really great people, and we owe a lot to a lot of people, for me even to be talking to you today. It's really awesome for us. We're very fortunate.
It's funny how that like happens, right? People, I think when bands get out there and they're like, we're gonna do something and there's no there's no intention behind it.
Yeah,
Like I play stadiums or something, like those bands seem to go further than some of the ones that are like, oh, we need to get together and we're gonna play stadiums. That's it. That's our
yeah,
trajectory, you know?
yeah, yeah. I wonder if there's something to that, just like bigger picture, how if you're really pressing uh, for something, that if you're really desperate for something, it can almost be harder than if you're in a mindset where you're not. Maybe it's related to, like, I don't know, like I'm trying to think, like, man, I really need a girlfriend or something. If you're feeling that way, and then you're never gonna find one, and then you finally be like, I don't care, whatever.
Right.
I don't need anybody, and then could fall right into your lap for who knows. It's just the way the universe works.
Well,
Maybe
it,
not,
it
it's just weird.
absolutely. I think part of it is like, where is your focus, right? If your
Yeah,
focus is on like writing the songs and having fun and putting them together
yeah,
to like what your standards are, then other people are going to come to it. It's like you're you're looking at uh you're looking at a solution versus a problem,
hmm,
you know?
that's well
Like
put. Yeah, I agree. Yeah,
so that's where I think a lot of that really comes in. Like what do they say? 90% of everything is mindset, particularly success. So when you're like, okay, the solution is that we want to put well-crafted songs, and we're gonna have fun with it, whatever that
Mhm.
means,
Right.
then the skill gets better. And people are
Mhm.
like, oh shit, they really don't care and they're really fucking good. Like, let's make this
Yeah,
happen.
yeah, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I like that. I think you're right.
So where did the name come from? Mother of Graves.
Yeah, right. So, Chris has some Latvian heritage, and there is, from my understanding, a in Latvian folklore. What is it? Is it kapumate? Oh shoot, something like that. Look, I didn't come
Sorry,
up with it.
Chris.
Yeah. Anyways, which basically translated comes out to Mother of Graves, as presumably some uh, figure who watches over the graveyard of the dead.
Oh,
And so I think that again, given that it kind of was inspired from something that's part of Chris's own personal heritage, and the fact that the name suits pretty well our style and what we do, I think it worked
yeah.
out pretty well.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah,
I'm gonna have to look into that because now I'm like really curious what the folklore is
yeah,
behind
yeah.
that.
I won't claim that I researched it a whole lot or anything, but I know that was Chris's explanation to me, and I think he's had to explain it before too, and I think it roughly goes like that. So,
Yeah,
yeah, I'll let him, you know, tell me everything I got wrong later on.
for sure. Again, sorry, Chris. Like
Yeah, hey, sorry, Chris.
you should have been here telling the story.
Yeah, right. Come on.
That's cool though. It's always cool
Yeah,
to take something like, some of the someone's heritage and bring it and put it out. And you don't think, oh my God, you don't see it, but my cat is sitting right here
that's
and
awesome.
she she keeps clawing my leg and I'm like, ow, stop. She's like,
Now, what's
but
that all about? Why is she clawing your leg? What's that
sh
mean?
I think she's, I don't know.
Oh, just being a
Yeah,
cat.
just yeah. Just like, hey, I'm here.
Yeah.
Like, fuck, I know you're here. Stop. Weirdo.
Oh,
But this is like every interview, this is how she lays.
yeah.
She curls up right next to me and um I guess she tries to sleep. I don't know what she's doing. Whatever.
Yeah. Mm,
Yeah.
I don't know. I think she's just wanting your attention because she can tell it's on something else. It's like,
Yeah.
hey,
Could
me.
that could be.
Yeah.
Sometimes she's just an asshole though.
Right.
Like, like I
I
mean
mean,
she's a cat. That's what
she's
they
a
do.
cat, right? Yeah,
You know?
exactly.
We've got three pit bulls and the cat
Yeah.
and our the youngest dog, Penny, when we first got her, she was probably a year old, and Sophia was like hanging out with us. Penny was like sniffing her, and Sophia chased her all through the fucking house. Penny's
Oh.
like, "Art." It was so damn funny. It's so damn
Oh,
funny.
sizes and everything, is it?
That's not at all. Especially when you got those sharp ass claws.
Yeah, yeah, that's no joke. That's no joke. Brandon was here recording vocals a few months ago. We hear all this commotion outside. I live in a pretty quiet neighborhood, to be honest. I hear all this commotion outside, and I'm like, what's going on out there? I hear all these people screaming or whatever. Well, I look out, and in my front yard, some girls who are neighbors of mine were walking their cat, and girls from down the street were walking their dog. And the cat naturally attacks the dog, starts a whole shitstorm out there, and just starts scratching the daylights out of anything or anyone it can get its claws on. And it was just complete pandemonium. And when I found out after the fact, I went running out there. I was trying to help get control of the dog, but the dog was actually really well behaved. As it turns out, it was the cat that was going ballistic. But it was just, oh yeah. So again, and that cat was what, like, I don't know, 1/5 the size of the dog, maybe a tenth the size. It didn't matter.
No,
She was going for it.
like
So
I'm gonna fuck you up
yeah,
regardless. And you're like,
that's right.
what? No
Yeah.
way.
Bra- Brandon is just standing out there like, what the hell was that? Doesn't happen
Yeah,
every day here, does it? No.
no, no, that's so funny. That always cracks me up. Like we're we live in a quiet neighborhood too.
Yeah.
Um, and I see dogs walking down the street all the time. I don't see any cats in our neighborhood though.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hmm,
I don't know.
what maybe maybe the dogs have already eaten.
Hey, I mean, maybe they took care of that problem. You're not going to have
Yeah,
any attacks like I did.
right. Maybe not. Well, we've got a Chinese restaurant real close too, so
Oh,
you
well,
know.
there you go.
So what
I love
bands
it.
are you listening to right now that you think other people should check out?
Well, I tell you what. So, I first of all, and I really mean it when I say this. I mean, I gotta say, check out the local ones here in Indianapolis. Because we've got a really cool scene here right now. Off the top of my head, you've got Atavistic Decay. They're going to be playing with us on the 15th. You got Flesher.
Oh yeah.
Um, you got, and then got some bands have been around for a long time. You got your Apostle of Solitude. They're so awesome. They've been doing it forever. They never let you down. Um, Personally, I'm trying to think of some newer ones I've been listening to. I try to stay up with it, and I'm just terrible with remembering names. Well, you know how hard it is to remember metal bands' names. It's
Yes.
it can be difficult. I can tell you, bands I was listening to kind of toward the end when I was finishing the mix, and I was kind of trying to find some bands that sounded really good, but I liked their songs. I liked how they sounded. At that time, I was listening to a lot of that Godthram album that came out last year,
Oh yeah.
um, and I think that it's a Finnish band, Convocation, and they play like a real like slow, heavy, kind of doom, I guess you'd say it was. But the arrangements are all really cool. It's like it's going slow, but it's not boring. I thought that was really awesome too. But I think both those came out last year. I'm trying to think of something that came out this year that I can actually remember. I'm just so bad at the names. I
That
don't
new
know.
Obscene album is pretty fucking good.
Well, look, yeah, and I don't want to look like I'm. What would it be like? Giving favoritism or whatever by talking about how awesome Obscene is. But yeah, that goes without saying. I mean,
Yeah.
dude, that Obscene, they're so badass. And freaking Brandon, he can just do it all. Let me just tell you, like he drums for that band, he's vocals for us, but there's a huge portion of this album, from Mother of Graves that Brandon wrote the riffs to. He sends, guitar licks to us all the time. And then of course, live he's performing all the keyboards while he's doing the vocals. So
Oh
he's
shit.
he's such a beast, man. Brandon's amazing.
That's awesome.
Yep.
It's so hard to find someone that can touch so many aspects of, not only the songwriting, but the recording and the performing.
Yep. Yep. It's
Man,
it's crazy. Yep. So we're very fortunate to have him in the fold, let me tell you.
right on. So
Yeah.
what would you say is a common theme throughout the album?
Um, you know, it it is I would almost have to steal Brandon's um words for that because that's the one thing. I mean, if there's one thing he does all alone, it's it's the lyrics and the vibe, at least lyrically of the album. Everything is owed to him on that. Everything that he writes for this album, it came from somewhere really deep and meaningful to him. I can tell you, I know for him, it's very therapeutic for him to kind of write. He has kind of a poetic style that he starts with, where he might actually write a poem, and then when it comes time to create the lyrics for the song, he begins finding ways to then fit that, with the music, with the rhythm of the song itself. Makes adjustments where he needs to. But I think a lot of it for him is just about finding ways to come to grips with things that you're going to encounter in life, loss and grief and difficulty, and find that kind of solace somewhere in the midst of all that. Um, and if that sounds like a cliche answer, that's because I'm saying it. Brandon could say it so much better than me, but that's what I think it really is all about.
And
So
he's the lyricist, right?
he
Like,
is, he is. I never claimed to be good with words. That's ridiculous. I keep my mouth shut.
yeah, I'm on the guitar, man.
I'm on the guitar. Yeah. Just doing my thing, staring at my pedals.
I think that's a really cool thing to way to look at it also is, like, hey, he's the lyricist. He can
Mhm.
obviously explain it a lot better. Um,
Yeah.
but also uh, that his lyrical content touches on those things because as I'm sure you are very well aware, is people connect with songs when they see something in that song and they're like, oh, I understand that.
Hmm.
And that connection, it helps bring that emotion out. And like those things that's one of those things that create lifelong fans.
Absolutely. Absolutely. See, you already put it better than me. So,
I
yeah.
didn't. You put it very, very good. I just,
Yeah, no, you're right. The connection that the listener makes to it, it becomes personal to them.
yeah,
Whatever the intentional lyrics may have been, the way that you internalize it makes that connection. It's great. Yeah,
100%.
yeah.
So, what kind of physical copies do you guys have?
Of the album,
Yes.
well, we've got well, okay, so Uh, first of all, let me just say that I've mentioned already before that we've been so lucky through this whole process. I mean, I probably don't deserve to be talking to you as anyone who is like anyone who cares about anything that we're doing. That's ridiculous. But the fact is, we've gotten lucky, so that's great.
Take that shit
But
off the table. There is
yeah,
no,
and let's just put that to the side. So again, we were very fortunate to be able to work with Sean at Wise Blood, and after he released Where the Shadows Adorn, which was our first full length in October of 22, um, we got contacted by some other labels with some interest. And at the time, we still hadn't really done much promotion. We hadn't played out much. So we were kind of putting that on pause. But when we had some time to start looking at some of the offers that came in, we were very fortunate to be able to get together with Profound Lore. And so thanks to that relationship, Profound Lore, they just gave us such a great deal that because they let us do our thing. They
Mhm.
gave us so much freedom, and then their distribution and their network and their whole machine is so amazing. Their discography, all of our label mates now, it's absolutely mind blowing. I cannot believe that that's where we are with this thing. And thanks to them, then we've got vinyl. I think three colors of vinyl, which I mean, again, this is all new to me, right? I've never had a band with three colors of vinyl, but they look freaking amazing. They're awesome.
Do you know what colors
We're
there
we're
are?
out on a CD, of course, which I'm still I'm still a CD believer in the respect that there's still no better um, quality sound that's available in any format other than just the freaking wave files that come straight out of my computer. So CD is awesome. And then obviously digital. And then we got hooked back up with Sean from Wiseblood, and he's putting a very limited run of tapes out as well.
Oh, right
So
on.
so the whole gamut. Yep, vinyl, digital, tape, it's all out there.
So what are the colors of the vinyl?
Yeah, so there's a good just plain old black. There is, oh my gosh, what's that one? Shoot. Is it, I should know this. Is it green? Oh my gosh, this is terrible. I'm the worst, but I'm also colorblind. Maybe give me a break. So, and then there's this really awesome, like black and red, like swirl marble
Oh
thing.
yeah.
It's freaking really nice. So, um, go to Profound Lore and click, and they're up there. I swear for pre-order, and you'll
Oh
see
yeah.
them, and you'll be like, that's not green. This guy is. Does he not know his colors? What kind of an idiot is this guy?
Like
But that's
now
okay.
he really is colorblind. Holy
Yeah,
shit.
well, yeah, yeah. You'll see when it turns out to actually be something like blue and orange, you'd be like, oh my God, not very close.
That'd be pretty funny.
Would
But
actually,
whatever.
yeah.
It would
Hey,
make this go viral.
yeah, right. Yeah.
So who did all the artwork for the album?
Um, Caleb Stokeman. Hold on a second. Let me look at something real quick because I got to make sure that I'm not messing up the pronunciation. He did such a freaking amazing job. Um, but yeah, so Brandon, as well as being the kind of lyrical director of things, is kind of the art director in a sense. He usually gives the artist the idea of what he wants, and Kalen Stokerman's. Oh man, I'm so sorry. I'm butchering the pronunciation. See, I don't know the album colors. I don't know how to pronounce people's names. Pretty much the
Like
worst.
he's
Anyways,
I don't even know why
Kalen.
I'm fucking here.
No, 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 no.
No, no.
Kalen, no, Kalen did this amazing job because Brandon asked him to kind of give us something with like this kind of romanticism era painting. Um, and then he started, he started working on it and started showing us the stages as he started adding layers, and we're just like, dude, you must have read our minds. This is exactly what we wanted. And every time we kind of got just another layer, more paint on the canvas, if you will, it just started looking better and better. And he knocked it out of the park. Kalen was completely awesome on this, and just really mind blowing, honestly.
Hell yeah. Yeah, I think
Yeah,
it's great. From what I've seen, I've only seen the cover art, but I think it looks pretty fucking fantastic so far.
yeah, yeah. It's so awesome. So I can't wait to see that in kind of large format on a vinyl. I think it's going to be great.
Yeah, I do too. So I can't wait till mine gets here.
Yeah. Hey, all right. Hey, which color are you gonna get?
Uh,
I
I don't know. I'll find out
don't know.
tonight.
We don't know.
I'll get the green one
Yeah,
if it's
whatever.
green. Yeah. No. Yeah, I don't know. I'll look. I
Yeah.
I'm the nut. I might buy them all.
Hey, well, hey, I'm not gonna stop you.
Yeah. No, no, I bet not. Uh, so if there was one band like that you could play with, what band would that be?
Holy cow. Oh my gosh. I don't know. Hold on a second.
The
You know
deep
what? How
question.
about this? Let me give you my personal answer.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say My Dying Bride.
Okay.
Um, because I am the latest adopter of bands. Like for instance, if I was your buddy and I came to you and I was like, "Oh man, you got to listen to this band, da da da, whatever their name is." Rest assured, that album's been out for 10 years. All right. I'm so far behind. It's pathetic. And but My Dying Bride was a band, one of the few that I've been into since the very early days. I remember used to have I could only get their album probably off like mail order, from those catalogs that you used to find that come over from Europe or whatever. And
Yeah.
you might recall like you'd actually have to order it through the mail, and so we try to order like 10 at a time to make the shipping worth it or something like that. I don't know. That's what I remember at least. And I've loved them. I've loved them across multiple eras. And I just feel like, considering that they were a big influence on a lot of the things that we do, that it would just be that kind of perfect melding of, to me, this legendary band and, us kind of being their, kind of looking up at their, example and sometimes taking some cues from what they do in certain moments of our own songs. I feel like it'd be a pretty good pairing. So
Hell yeah.
yeah, yeah. I don't know if all the guys would agree with me on that, but I'm the one that's here, so you get my
That,
answer.
well, that's exactly it, right? Like, if I'm sure they have the ability to comment on it wherever,
Yeah, yeah,
So
yep,
that's totally cool.
exactly.
Hopefully, I don't know what band that's playing right now you want to play with. Like,
Yeah. I mean, honestly, we're getting. I'm honestly, I'm really looking forward. Sorry to the show we've got going in November. Honestly, Immortal Bird. I mean, they're freaking awesome, dude. So the fact that we're going to get to play with them, I think, is really neat.
you're
So
like,
I'm
hell
I'm
yeah,
into that.
score.
Yeah, right. Twice, in fact,
Yeah,
twice. So there we go.
hell
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
Well, that's really fucking cool.
absolutely.
Oh, and you should have vinyl by then too, huh?
I would hope so. I mean, it should. Like, I think that's how that works, right? The album releases and everything's available right then, right? Is that how that works?
Usually.
The
Sometimes,
thing with vinyl is you never know.
yeah.
Yeah,
Sometimes like earlier this year, vinyl was on a quick turnaround time and now it's kind of ramping back up. I think their
yeah,
total turnaround right now is like 4 or 5 months.
okay,
So I don't
yeah.
know.
Oh, geez, I don't know either. I hope so. I hope, and again, I think working with Chris Bruni and Profound Lore, um, they kick serious ass. So I
Yeah.
think we're looking good with them.
A lot of
So
really cool
I
bands on
expect
Profound Lore.
everything to be, yeah, I think everything's going to be good.
Hell yeah. Me too.
Yeah.
Me too. Um, okay, Ben. I
Yeah.
It's getting late.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm I am absolutely exhausted.
Well, you said you were up, what, 5 this morning or whatever,
Yeah.
going strong ever since. I don't blame you.
Yeah. And I'll do the same thing tomorrow.
Oh,
Eh,
sorry.
don't be. I choose it.
All right. Well,
So I greatly appreciate you coming and hanging out and spending some time chatting with me. I think we've had a fun conversation.
yeah.
I'm really looking forward to getting the vinyl. So the rest of you guys, go get the vinyl, please. Uh,
And Tom, I gotta say, thank you so much for having me on too. I really appreciate the opportunity to talk to you. You've got a really impressive library going right now
well, thank you.
on your podcast site. So I wish you all the best in the future too, and hopefully see you in November.
Yeah, yeah, you will for sure see me at a show, even if it's not November.
Okay, that's awesome. Hey, I know you're not far away. Maybe I'll catch you in Louisville sometime.
Yeah, that would be super cool.
Awesome.
All right, Ben, have a great night, man.
You too. Thank you so
Thanks,
much.
brother. See ya.
Alrighty. Bye.